Today I'm going to show you how I cut and store herbs for use fresh. When you're cutting herbs like oregano, you want to cut right above where they're starting to branch out as two separate pieces. I think I'm going to have to hand some of these herbs out to a friend. I have way too much oregano right now. When you cut the tops off like this, it makes the bushes, it makes them bush up and get more branches. So the more you cut back herbs, the more herbs you get. I just like to try and keep them inside the box. Alright, so that's more than enough oregano. I have chives here, but I don't really have anything to do with them at the moment. I'll still cut some. For the chives, you want to get to the bottom and pull and cut outer ones. You can figure out what the outer ones are. You'll kind of see there'll be the outer leaf and they'll be kind of falling over. I'm just going for a little bit. I don't have a lot in here and my family doesn't eat a lot of chives. So next would be sage. The same concept as oregano. I'm going to go down yay far. And you just want to snip right above where the leaves split out. The oregano is from last year. The sage over here is from this year, so it's not as well established. It doesn't take up this much room. That's enough sage. My dill is behind my cilantro, but it's not big enough to cut yet. My cilantro has already bolted and is doing seeds, so I don't really want to cut any of this. It's all yellow. It's done for the season. Over here I've got thyme, and thyme is fun because it will grow leaves as it falls over. It will grow roots as it falls over. Thyme is much easier to see the stem splits. Looks like this. The flowers are edible. So when it flowers early like this and gets a whole bunch of flowers, that's fine. I've never had trouble with the thyme dying after doing flowers. I don't want a lot of thyme because I believe I still have thyme in the house from last time. It's too many times in one sentence. For parsley, you're going to look for the bottom where they all meet, and you again go for the outer leaves, like the chives. Parsley tends to be filthy because it falls over. And so I cut these, I cut herbs and then keep them in the house because if they're not cut and kept in the house, everyone tends to forget they're there and they never get used in cooking. Only the dried stuff from the end of the season ends up in food, which is a waste. Moving on to the next herb I'm going to grab today, I'm going to grab some basil. So, mosquitoes. Just going to come in here and go. This one's already been cut here. The basils were huge a couple weeks ago, so I had to clip them back some. That's how you do it. You cut down, and then they branch up and make these new bases, and then you cut down again. My last herb, if you see behind the plants I got here, is mint. I'm just going to grab some off of the top here. It's very close to flowering. Mint. Rule. There's a rule with mint. Never, ever, ever put it straight in the ground, or you will never be able to grow anything else. It will take over. It's worse than English ivy. I have trouble keeping it in the box, and it's in a box. Okay. Mint. I think that's all the herbs I got in here. I have borage on the end, but I don't use that for cooking. You can, but I don't. So now I'm going to take this in and show you how to clean it. Now that they're inside, you're going to take some cold water and some regular dish soap. fill this bowl up and just let them soak for at least a half an hour. Obviously, they all have to be in the bowl. The idea is to get the loose dirt off and to drown any bugs that I missed when I was pulling it out. And now this is going to sit like this in the soapy water for half an hour. Okay, now that the herbs have sat for half an hour, you're going to dump out the water and most of the dirt. You're going to run it and rinse down each herb individually, like so. Flop them onto some paper towels. I'm going to use the mint as an example here. Take this, you're going to wrap them in the paper towel like so. And actually snip the bottoms off of these because it's a bit excessive. There we go. I'm going to take the mint, put it in the bag like that. And the paper towel is slightly damp. Squeeze the air out. Just don't crush the herbs. And that's the mint. You can store these in the fridge, stacked up like this, in a container. Just I need to fill the rest. There is no way that is going to fit in one of those. Let me switch bags. So those are the bagged herbs. And then for the parsley, I like to treat that as a bouquet. So just erase, and they go in like so. So this sits on the countertop because parsley gets used all the time. And it'll only get used if it's sitting here on the counter, and then the rest of these go in the fridge. You can also put parsley in a bag in the fridge if you want to. It'll last in this jar for like a week or two. These things, as crazy as it sounds, I've had them go up to a month or even further without the herbs going bad. You just have to occasionally change out the paper towels if they get too wet. Then you could stack them in here like this to keep them organized in the fridge. I'm not going to, I'm just throwing the bags in their hole.